Man Shrestha.
Welcome to our deep dive into global warming.
Yeah.
You've sent over a whole stack of articles, and it seems like you're looking for more than just the basics.
Yeah, you want to know what's really at stake?
Yeah.
What the future holds?
What the future holds.
And what we can do about it.
Yeah, and what we can do about it.
You're right to be looking deeper.
Exactly.
We're going to explore this excerpt from The Future of the Planet and Humanity, a global warming perspective.
Okay.
But we're not just going to skim the surface.
No, we're going to connect the dots and
Think critically about the information.
Yeah.
And hopefully uncover those aha moments that make this whole journey worthwhile.
Right, those aha moments.
The first thing to understand is that the scientific consensus on this is rock solid.
Okay.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change,
IPCC.
the IPCC, has concluded that global warming is unequivocally caused by human activity.
The IPCC, for those who aren't familiar, Can you explain what makes them such a credible source?
They're basically like the all-star team of climate scientists from around the world.
Okay.
Thousands of experts review and analyze all the available research.
Oh, wow.
And issue these comprehensive reports that inform global policy.
Okay.
They've found that temperatures have risen 1.1 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels.
1.1 degrees.
Which may not sound like a lot, but
But it's enough to trigger some significant changes.
yeah,
We're already seeing the effects.
we are.
From melting glaciers
Yeah.
to more extreme weather events.
And it's only going to get worse if we don't act.
Okay.
The report highlights the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold
Okay.
as a critical tipping point.
So 1.5 degrees.
Beyond that,
Yeah.
the consequences could be devastating.
Okay, so let's break down the science a little bit.
Okay.
What's causing this warming trend?
It all comes down to the greenhouse effect.
I know we've all heard about greenhouse gases and all that.
Imagine the Earth wrapped in a blanket of gases.
Okay.
These gases trap some of the sun's heat,
You're right.
which is naturally how we maintain a habitable temperature.
Right.
But when we burn fossil fuels for energy,
Yeah.
we release more and more greenhouse gases,
Okay.
particularly carbon dioxide,
Mm-hmm.
into the atmosphere.
So that blanket is getting thicker.
Exactly.
Trapping more heat.
And the more heat that's trapped,
Yeah.
the warmer the planet gets.
Right.
It's like we're cranking up the thermostat on a global scale.
This report goes beyond just the science, though.
Yeah.
It paints a very vivid picture of a planet in peril. And it's not just about polar bears on melting ice floes.
No, it's about
as the report says.
it's about the interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah.
Think about the delicate balance of ecosystems.
Okay.
Let's take coral reefs as an example.
Okay, so those vibrant underwater cities teeming with life.
They're incredibly sensitive to even slight temperature changes.
wow.
As the oceans warm,
Yeah.
corals experience bleaching,
Okay.
which weakens them and can ultimately lead to their death.
Right.
Now, losing coral reefs doesn't just impact the fish that rely on them for habitat.
No, it has ripple effects throughout the entire ecosystem, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fish populations decline,
Right.
impacting the livelihoods of those who depend on fishing.
Uh-huh.
Coastal communities lose a natural barrier against storms and erosion.
Oh, right.
And even the tourism industry takes a hit.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect.
It's a stark reminder that the consequences of global warming go far beyond just a hotter planet.
Yes.
It's about disrupting the delicate balance of nature.
Yeah.
And those disruptions can have cascading effects that we can't even fully anticipate.
And those effects hit much closer to home than we might realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This report dives deep into what these changes mean for our daily lives.
Yeah.
And it's pretty unsettling. We're talking about disruptions to our food supply, our health, even our economy.
We might start seeing those impacts at the grocery store.
Oh, really? Climate change can disrupt agricultural yields,
Okay.
leading to food shortages and price hikes.
So that means like basic staples could become much more expensive?
Exactly.
Wow.
And this will disproportionately affect vulnerable communities who are already struggling with food insecurity.
It's not just our wallets that will feel the impact.
Wow.
The report also highlights the health consequences of global warming.
Yeah.
Like what specifically?
Heat waves will become more frequent and intense.
Okay.
leading to a rise in heat stroke and other heat-related illnesses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Respiratory problems could worsen
Uh-huh.
due to increased air pollution from wildfires and other climate-related events.
It even mentions the potential for diseases like malaria to spread to new regions
Right.
as temperatures rise.
Yeah,
And we can't forget about the economic repercussions.
of course not.
Climate change is projected to cause significant damage to infrastructure,
Yeah.
disrupt supply chains, lead to job losses in vulnerable sectors.
Mm-hmm.
All of this points towards a less stable world. It does.
So we've got this pretty bleak picture of
Mhm.
what happens if we continue on our current path.
Yeah.
But the report doesn't just leave us there.
No, it doesn't.
It presents a contrast,
Look,
a potential future where we choose to act decisively.
This scenario involves a fundamental shift
Okay.
in our thinking and our actions.
Yeah.
It requires a global commitment to transitioning away from fossil fuels
Right.
and embracing cleaner renewable energy sources.
That would mean a massive investment in things like solar,
Wind power.
geothermal energy, or
Geothermal.
things we hear about
Yeah.
but don't necessarily see happening on a large scale yet.
Right.
Is that really feasible?
It's a monumental challenge,
Okay.
but it's not impossible.
Okay.
We already have the technologies and the knowledge to make this transition.
Yeah.
What we need is the political will and the collective commitment to make it happen.
The report also highlights the need for reforestation and conservation efforts.
Yes.
I love this idea. Imagine vast areas replanted with trees,
Right.
helping to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
It's not just about planting new trees.
Oh, okay.
It's about protecting existing forests and restoring degraded ecosystems.
Okay.
Forests play a crucial role in regulating our climate,
Mm-hmm.
preserving biodiversity,
Right.
and providing essential resources.
And then there's the potential of technology.
Oh, yeah.
The report talks about carbon capture technologies, ways to literally suck carbon dioxide out of the air.
That's right.
It sounds very sci-fi.
These technologies are still in their early stages of development,
Okay.
but they hold a lot of promise.
Like what, for example?
There's direct air capture,
Okay.
which uses chemical processes to pull CO2 out of the atmosphere
Uh-huh.
and store it underground.
Oh, wow.
And there's bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, or BECCS,
PCCS.
which involves growing plants that absorb CO2
Okay.
and then burning them for energy while capturing and storing the emissions.
So we've got two very different paths ahead of us.
Yeah.
One driven by inaction,
Inaction.
and the other by a commitment to change.
To change.
It sounds like the choice we make will have a monumental impact on our future.
It's not an exaggeration to say that the future of humanity hangs in the balance.
Wow.
And the report stresses that we're not powerless in the face of this challenge.
Okay.
We have agency.
So what can we do?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of the problem.
One of the most effective ways to drive change is through policy intervention.
Okay.
Governments have the power to enact policies that promote renewable energy,
Uh-huh.
enforce emissions reductions, and incentivize sustainable practices across all sectors.
So things like carbon taxes,
Carbon taxes,
subsidies for green technologies,
subsidies.
stricter regulations on polluting industries.
Yes, stricter regulations.
These are all examples of policy interventions that can actually make a difference.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And these policies are already being implemented in various parts of the world
Oh, really?
with varying degrees of success.
Okay.
It's about learning from those experiences,
Hmm.
pushing for bolder policies,
Yeah.
and holding our leaders accountable.
But it's not just about governments.
No.
What about individuals and communities?
Right.
Can we really make a difference on our own?
Every action matters,
Really?
from reducing your personal carbon footprint
Okay.
to advocating for policy changes.
Uh-huh.
Each step we take contributes to the collective effort.
Okay.
Think about the choices you make every day.
Yeah.
The food you eat,
Okay.
the clothes you buy,
Uh-huh.
the way you travel, the energy you use.
So things like eating less meat,
Yeah, eating less meat,
choosing energy-efficient appliances,
energy efficient appliances,
hiking instead of driving,
biking.
supporting companies with strong environmental records.
Absolutely.
These all add up.
Every little bit helps.
Wow.
And it's not just about individual actions. It's about engaging with your community,
Uh-huh.
supporting local initiatives,
Right.
and advocating for change at a grassroots level.
This report really emphasizes that the fight against global warming transcends borders.
It does.
It's a global issue that requires a global response.
And that's where international cooperation becomes so important.
Okay.
We need countries to work together to share knowledge, technology, and resources.
Right.
We need to support developing countries in transitioning to sustainable pathways.
Yeah.
And we need to ensure that climate action is equitable and benefits everyone.
It's a daunting task, but it's one we can't afford to ignore.
No, we can't.
This report is a call to action.
It is.
It's a reminder that we have the power to shape the future,
We do.
and it's up to all of us to choose the path of sustainability.
We've talked about mitigating global warming,
Yeah.
but we also need to be realistic about the changes that are already happening.
Okay.
Adapting to these new realities is just as crucial.
This brings us to a critical question.
Okay.
What does adaptation actually look like?
It involves preparing for the impacts that are already baked in. For example, we need to build resilient infrastructure that can withstand more extreme weather events.
Right.
We need to develop climate-smart agriculture that can thrive in changing conditions.
Yeah.
And we need to be prepared for the possibility of displacement and migration due to rising sea levels.
So it's about being proactive and adapting to the new normal, rather than waiting for things to get worse before we react.
And that's where global solidarity becomes crucial.
Yeah.
This isn't a challenge that any one country or community can solve on its own.
No.
We need to work together, share knowledge, and support each other in adapting to these new realities.
Despite the seriousness of the situation, I have to say I'm feeling a flicker of hope.
Me too.
There's so much happening right now.
Yeah.
So many people and organizations working tirelessly to address this challenge.
It's inspiring to see the groundswell of activism, the ingenuity of scientists and engineers,
Right.
and the growing awareness among policymakers that action is needed.
It feels like there's a global movement gaining momentum.
And it's fueled by a shared understanding that we can and must create a better future.
It's not just about saving the planet.
No.
It's about creating a better world for ourselves, for our children, and for generations to come.
Yes.
A world that is more just,
More.
more equitable, more vibrant, and more in harmony with the natural world.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
A lot of ground.
We've explored the science,
Yeah.
the impacts,
The impacts.
the possible futures,
And the actions we can
with
take.
actions.
It's been a journey, hasn't it?
But I think the most important takeaway is this.
Yeah.
The future is not predetermined.
Okay.
We have the power to shape it.
The choices we make, both individually and collectively, matter immensely.
They do.
Every action, every decision, every conversation contributes to the direction we're heading in.
It's about understanding that we're not just passive passengers on this planet.
Right.
We're active participants, co-creators of our shared future. And that's both a responsibility and an incredible opportunity.
It won't be easy.
Yeah.
There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt.
But if we hold on to that vision of a sustainable future, if we stay engaged and informed, if we work together with determination and hope,
I believe we can create a world that is worthy of the generations to come.
this report ends on a powerful note.
It does.
It reminds us that the time to act is now because the stakes couldn't be higher.
They couldn't be.
And that brings us back to you.
To you.
We've explored the science, the potential consequences of inaction, and the pathways to a more sustainable future.
We have.
Given all that, what stands out to you?
What's one specific detail or idea that's really resonating?
Yeah.
I think what's striking is how interconnected everything is.
Yeah.
It's not just about the environment. It's about our economies, our health,
Yeah.
our social well-being.
Right.
It's a reminder that we're all part of this complex web of life.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the most important question of this entire deep dive.
Okay.
Given everything we've discussed, what one action will you commit to taking to contribute to a sustainable future?
It doesn't have to be something huge.
Right.
Maybe it's starting a compost bin,
Okay.
having a conversation with a friend about climate change,
Uh-huh.
or researching sustainable investment options.
Yeah, what matters is that it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
A conscious choice that aligns with the future you want to see,
And remember, you're not alone in this.
right?
There are countless individuals, organizations, and communities all over the world working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
Connect with them, learn from them, and be inspired by their actions.
This deep dive has only scratched the surface.
It has.
I encourage you to continue exploring this topic.
Yes.
Dive deeper into the areas that sparked your interest.
Yeah.
Read more, research more, and stay curious.
A great starting point is resources we've linked in the show notes. You'll find organizations, articles, and websites that can provide even more information and connect you with others who are passionate about this issue.
It isn't about being perfect.
No.
It's about progress.
Yeah.
It's about making conscious choices every day that move us closer to a more sustainable and equitable future.
A future where humanity and nature thrive together.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time, stay engaged, stay hopeful, and keep making a difference.
Remember, the future is in our hands.